Smoke signals from around the campfire.
Well, welcome everyone. Good to see Graham back. How was your steak last night?
Good morning, everyone. My steak was very good. Yeah, I ate it all. Yeah. I had
So,
hot chocolate afterwards. Just 2 squares of a Yorkie.
the truck driver's favourite. Okay, well, this is, Tamara was talking about her session being a bit of an experiment. I guess this one is as well, too. Last weekend I was down in Totnes. A woman called Jackie Juno took a session, a sort of writer's circle. So I'm taking inspiration from that, really, and following the sort of format that she used. So the idea will be to bring out our creative juices, appreciation of art, and a stillness and attention, I guess, to what's in front of us. So, yeah, right on cue. Ken gets up and walks.
Get something for show and tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there will be more for the next session.
It's all about attention, Ken.
You're going to wave something at us in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, not yet.
So what I'd like you to do is we're going to play a little game, I guess. We're going to look at some images, and I'm going to invite you to pick one or two of them. It's art in its broadest sense. They're on a web page on Campfire, which I'll share in the chat. And you can choose one or choose more than one if you want. And we're going to have 20 minutes where you write. Has everyone got paper and pen in front of them? Anyone not? Yeah. So 20 minutes to actually consider the image you're looking at and write about it. That might take the form of text or notes or poetry or a song or anything you feel inspired to do creatively. Even if it's just a load of random words on the page. And then I'll invite anyone to share at the end of that. So we're going to do that for, I think, about 20 minutes. So there is the post. It's actually on the top of the Campfire site at the moment. So in there, you'll find 16 images. And I'll invite you to, we won't start yet. We'll just have a couple of minutes while we get our bearings. But
No, I just found the pictures. I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything else.
okay, what I'm asking and inviting you to do is to pick an image that stands out from the 16 that are there. You can click on the image if you want it bigger. Yeah, you can make it larger if you want. And pick your image, and then as soon as we start, which will be in a couple of minutes, hopefully, we'll have 20 minutes. In fact, I might make it 15 minutes.
And can I ask something? You suggest just one picture?
It's up to you. If you find you've exhausted all your creative possibilities 10 minutes in and you want to pick a second, I'd say go on and do a second.
Okay.
And it's really about responding. You might want to create a poem. You might want to just make notes. You might want to write a song, or do some flowing text, whatever comes up for you. Or if nothing comes up for you, that's fine. But just enjoy the pictures. But there's a variety of different photos and images on there. Pick whichever one you'd like and write about it. So has everyone managed to get the pictures up on screen? Or is anyone not?
I'm still trying to sign in.
Yeah. Okay, we'll give you a couple of minutes.
Oh, bloody hell, where's the full stop?
It's always there, full stops. So this is encouraging your inner art critic. And then we'll move on to a couple of other things after this.
I do a similar thing with a poetry group. So we hear some poems and then we write about it. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's great for getting the creative juices flowing.
Mm.
How you doing tomorrow?
I'm not sure. It's not recognizing my email address, saying please enter a valid email address. Well, it is. Oh, just carry on. I'll join you in a minute.
Okay, well, if you need to look at your laptop, if you need to ask any questions here, I'm just going to leave this channel silent.
Yes.
play
Okay.
I might play some quiet music in a few minutes, but
Okay.
so I'm going to start the timer for, what should we say, 18 minutes and 14 seconds, starting from now. Okay, your 18 minutes, 14 seconds is up. You just want to be finishing off. So I'm going to invite anyone who wants to share what they've written. You don't have to. And if you do decide you want to share, you can either tell us which number of painting it or drawing it is, image it is, or not. If you want to ask us to guess, that's equally valid. So I'm going to read out one of the two I did as an example of some prose that I spewed out. A new page, a radical essence of culture, people facing each other, not slavishly turned towards worship on a stage. The drug experience and what it did for some, sharpened awareness, sense of space, sounds, lights, dry ice, lasers, herd instinct, lost in a sea of collectivity, gurning, responding to frequencies. The quest for a high, shapes and movement, the symbolism of the smiley, the tabloid terror, the head in the bass bin, the furtive spliff, sorted and on one. And as a postscript, I wrote, I wonder what these people are doing now. How's their pleasure levels affected by the serotonin and the bad ease? Not a difficult one to guess, probably.
That's probably the second photo. There's two guys looking at each other. It's a black and white picture. Inside.
Yeah, it's not actually. It's not that one.
I think it was number 7, because I almost did that one.
Yes, you're right, Paula. Yeah.
Okay.
Which was actually titled, I haven't got the titles for all of these, but Raving 1989 by Gavin Watson, which was actually on the wall in Totnes, and I photographed it there last weekend. So slightly out of proportion and light reflective. I did one more, but would anyone like to read out what they've got? Diane, you need to unmute.
Ken had his hand up first, I think.
Oh, okay, Ken, do you want to go first? Always quick off the mark.
You're muted, Ken.
Yeah, with these kinds of odd assignments, I'm always worried I'm not going to do it correctly, but I'm not sure there is a correct way to do this.
Yeah, I think we learned yesterday in Poppy's session that that's the case.
I mean, I liked the one of it reminded me of Marc Chagall with the person playing a harp. There were dogs. I mean, there's at least one dog, and I think the other creatures were either horses or wolves. I can't be sure.
Is that the one you chose?
It's the first one I looked at.
Do you want to read what you've written?
That's what I'm doing, sort
Okay.
of. They're phrases. They're not, Yeah, it's picture number 9. Old man with a strange instrument. I couldn't really tell what it was. And, like I said, I wasn't quite sure if they were horses or wolves. One of them was sitting on its haunches, and I've got written here, do horses ever sit like that? And there was a great goat head with a human face or something like that in the distance on the right. And as a music person, I was wondering what the soundtrack to this would sound like.
Yeah, maybe I should have invited you to create a track in 20 minutes.
I have no idea how to do that.
Well, sing one.
And number 4, I was haunted by that the last time you showed it to us. It's like they're ghosts of oxen. Is that what they are?
I don't
it's
remember. I don't remember showing this before, actually. So you've obviously interpreted. You've beaten me there to that one.
I swear I've seen. I mean, I don't know where else I would see that.
I only discovered it last night, so yeah, you wouldn't have seen it.
Strange things are going on. Anyway, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I think once you've seen something like that, you're not going to forget it. It's a very strong image. I mean, are they ghosts of animals, or are they? I can't really tell what the people are doing. It's kind of disturbing because you don't really know what it is. And, I mean, all these people draw very well, but that's not the issue. You're trying to figure out what the picture is about. What
did you write?
Yeah, well, we're waiting for your creative writing. Or is it just notes?
Just notes.
Okay.
Well, we all just notes. What did you actually write down?
Trying to what are they about? Like the one with the people with the statues on the raft. What are they actually doing? One of them was facing a different direction than all the others. And I wondered what the storyline was for that.
What did you write?
That I can't write an essay about this. I have no idea how to do that.
Okay. Well, maybe this is something we can move into learning with if we do these sessions regularly. Thanks, Ken, for your reflections. Would anyone else like to follow next?
Yeah.
Diane, yeah.
Oh, Diane's next.
Yeah.
I ended up with a number of them, but the pieces, some of the bits are quite short. So tell me if you want me to stop, because I wrote several.
Would you like to read this without a number specific thing, or would you like us
No,
to?
I'll do the numbers because they're kind of, and then people can follow, and that's okay. That kind of works for me.
So if I do a screen share while you're doing it, yeah.
Okay, so number 2 is the first one.
Okay.
A smoke-filled, music-filled room. An encounter. Brooding, questioning. Observed by others, watching, waiting, anticipating. A mutual history races by, memories, feelings. What will happen? Will this end now in bloody conflict or shared agreement? Like 2 wild animals fighting over the prize, proving a point or pointless. Is the prize worth the effort? They back down, turning away from each other, each heading to their compadres to lick their metaphorical wounds.
Wow. Brilliant. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, you got a whole story out of that.
Yeah. It's just where my mind went, Ken. That's how it works for me sometimes. So the next one is number 4, which I think actually, Ken, to answer your point, I think are Maasai herders in the Masai Mara in Kenya. Is what they look like to me anyway. I could be wrong, but looking at their clothes and anyway, certainly look like herders in Africa. The photographer observes the moment, safe behind the camera, distanced from the image, apart, disconnected. What would happen if they put the camera down and walked into the scene? Could they connect? Would they understand their common shared experience? Would the people become brothers? Could they understand their connection? the oneness, not aloneness, interbeing, interdependent, coming together fully as the whole.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you.
The next one's a bit shorter, you might be glad to hear. So number 6. It must be love. Cue the Beatles.
Excellent. That's Harry Bunce, actually, from Bristol, one of his amazing. Check him out if you haven't heard of him.
Okay.
He likes his little furry creatures.
Yeah, cute.
Mm.
So next one, number 7. So this is the one you did, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a bit different. Separate beings closed in together, boundaried by their beliefs, ideas, their feelings, their fears, pretending, pretensing, not really wanting to be seen.
Thank you.
Number 11.
Wow, you've been productive.
Yeah, I just got on a roll. Her eyes draw me in like magnets pulling. The image takes me back to my 40th birthday at my friend's African cafe, where the front of the bar is decorated with beautiful images of people from distant lands. Me curious to explore the continent of Africa.
Love it.
13. The Elgin marbles return. And I know they're not the Elgin marbles. Okay. But I just thought it was an idea for them. And then the last one, 14. The lost souls seeking Hades, so they can cross over through the underworld, to be at peace, to be in the infinite universe.
That's just brilliant. Thank you so much for that.
I'd be curious to know what the actual artists had in mind when they do these, or does that kind of defeat the purpose to even know that?
Who knows? Art is a funny, multifaceted thing.
Very much so.
Tamara, got your hand. Would you like us to share the screen or not?
Yes, please.
You can guess which one it is. Easy enough. Her silver hair flowing out behind her like waves of moonlight as she follows a red fox through the woods, both intent on a destination to the left. She's bearing a globe of light in her hands and appears to be sleepwalking, barefoot, in a nightgown decorated with symbols of nature. Here and there are little mushroom clusters, white in the light from the huge moon hanging in the bare branches of a tree. The fox's ears are pricked as it moves steadily to the left. A white rabbit curls up, dozing in its burrow. A badger has a crescent moon in his holt, all to himself. And a parent fox is fast asleep in its den. Oh, and I suddenly notice a silvery ghost-like spirit being, half hidden behind a tree, antlers, a pan figure, a green man, intent on the woman as she passes. How am I sleepwalking? Yes, being ill makes for slow, half-aware movement. And being half asleep, meanwhile, means make space to venture forth into unknown, the left-handed path, the sinister, the dream world, where spirit guides, watchers, and ancient chthonic beings attend to our progress, unseen in the vastness of the forest. The animal nature is all asleep, except for the young red fox. My guides are with me. The young red fox, the trickster, the Hermes, the messenger, pointing the way to the left, the past, the dark, the feminine, deep, unseen, unconscious. Oh, more mushrooms.
There's a lot going on in that picture, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tamara.
Quite meaningful to me.
Thanks for that, Tamara. I just want to say, when you mentioned the mushrooms, I went, oh yeah, so there are. And they were suddenly popping up at me. So
Yeah,
the words
yeah.
were helping to stimulate my visual. So it was lovely. Thank you.
I
No,
like the
yeah.
left. I like the going left. But I like that.
Yeah.
You like what?
The going left.
Yes. Sinister means the left hand. Sinister and rectus, the right and the left. And sinister was designated as a bad thing by the church. So the left-handed path, the left, you know, the opposition, the left, the feminine is the left, the feminine is the past, the feminine is the dark. And so they're heading into that realm. I just love that. And the fox, the little fox is the only one that's awake, apart from the spirit being, which is the last thing I noticed. It was by chance. I was about to leave the picture, and I noticed this little squiggle, yeah, hiding behind a tree, unseen. That's how I experience my guides now. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Very rich, tapestry of ideas from you. Thank you.
I wouldn't mind going next.
All yours, Janine. Would you like me to share?
Yeah, I mean, I lost the Zoom throughout it, and so I haven't really. My mind was on all the technical stuff, and I had to come back in again. So I've just written a few things down. I've not reread it. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it now as it is. So it's the one with the slates and the water. That one.
That one, yeah, Rudy.
I don't even know where to start really. Discomfort skies. There's thin light on silk water. Far is not distant. What is now here on beaten shelves? The corner hides. Master of none. Sliced light of rounded times. For my unknown colours bleed. Waiting for the fish to behold. Peripheral memory still shapes the thought of running on clouds through chanting slate of yesternight. No idea what that means.
What was the last word?
Yesternight. Kind of made it up.
That's great. Thank you. Anyone else like to offer something? Paula,
Yeah.
would you like to share a picture or?
Yeah, I'm going to start with number 2 because I resonated with what Diane said about it. So people look on, just the two, looking in a mirror. Their eyes don't know. Expectation, threat, aggression, or love. Like cage fighters or just a discussion. Hearing each other, listening, explaining, listening, curious. And I've got another one. And yeah, so it's number 13. This was the first one I did. Yeah, which made me smile when I saw it. Rock, marble, soft air, cliffs, sand, beauty. Looking behind, let's go back. We were safe there. The passengers look worried. What to expect? Planet of the Apes? This is the unknown. Help. The figurehead, eager to jump off. Moving forward, let's get on with it. Is she a she? Serene figurehead. Anchored by their pedestals, but still afloat. Where have they drifted from? Longing to return. They're aground but not moving, as though cast in stone. They look strong, ready to take on the world, but their feet are stuck, dragging, sinking, not rushing, turned towards the sun.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
I'm reminded of the very strong image for me of the refugee boats.
Yes, I think I found it on Twitter actually, and it was meant to be making a political point as well.
Yeah.
The wonders of artificial intelligence. Hey, anything from your end, Graham, you want to offer?
Yeah, I'm going to read mine out. I just want to get. Okay. I am deep in the moon. I hold a golden globe. My long hair trails in the silver spoon. The fox leads the way through the no gloom. The artist's way has a lot to say about free flowing state. As I stand at the gate, every moment is now. I focus a dream. The rabbit scratches its ear, and the moon through the trees reminds me of Ken. Jumping between images in my mind, the matter is what will move on. We hear some creative juices flowing. A beautiful tree, I love that image, like beautiful flowing pine needles, the beautiful bare trees outlived in line. I'm changing my hands to write with my left. I like to express what I think to my love. My self-appreciation fits like a glove. I wonder what they will think about my art in my hands. My hands from my heart, I carry a globe. I create with my hands. My multi-potentialite spins in my bands. This golden globe of light I have free. It's an extension of the light that is in me. A golden globe of light in my head. I say it at once, I think it instead. From the gold of my being, allow worthiness. The mushrooms belie and drink without dress. The badge of the moon, my theme in their tune. I'm curled like a fox sleeping underground. My mind lives to be free and wants to be unbound. By I may focus and drive like the wind. I leave this plan as if unsinned. I'd like to know the key to my flow. I am a golden being aglow, transmuting my sadness you see in my eyes. I focus where the blue meets the gold. My forehead is from where I unfold. My dreams to see that spot in the dot. The colors of my eyes look so sad. My mouth is aligned with the food that I had. The colors of my radiant cheeks, the blue in my aura is around me for weeks. My life, it is so well organized. The shadow, the light. Is it sadness I feel? Training the brain to a place without fear. The is still if I die here. How long can I live if I do not breathe? Does it strain my heart to live without reprieve? The tutus in the forest remind me of Ken, the gods in the boat, on a quest for women, I suppose, looking this way and that in their inflatable craft. About a tiny their hair is made me laugh anyway, a piece of fun. I'm going back to the witch in the wood. Her dress is a nightie and her fate. Her feet are unbooted. Her hair is silver, but her face is fresh. Behind a tree is a wonderful being. He peeks as he hides. His antlers are there. The depths of the forest and the stars in the sky. It is time for me to wake up and fly.
Thank you.
Indeed, you're welcome.
Some amazing insights. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, that first one I managed to find through Google search image images. It's somebody called Tijana Lukovic, Belgian-based artist. Doesn't sound like a Belgian name, but not sure where she's from.
Eastern Europe. It's Eastern
Yeah.
Europe art,
Sounds
folk
Eastern
art.
European. The second one I created in artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah.
I've been playing a lot this week, as you may have noticed from the little video I did. There's a light shining, which I'd be happy to play, which is all done from artificial intelligence images, as was the third one, which was part of that video. Fourth one's an artist called Sebastião Salgado. Africa is the name of his project. The fifth one's Rudy Tripat from Totnes. He does a lot of photography around the southwest. Number 6, I've already mentioned Harry Bunce. I think it's Bristol area based. 7 is Gavin Watson, not sure where he is. 8, Athena Llewellyn. Are you watching? She was actually in attendance at the session last week, and she had some of her paintings exhibited in the Totnes gallery. She's really interesting as well. Number 9, Leonora Carrington, which I found on Jason Hines' wonderful Facebook page. If you don't know Jason, follow him. There's some really, I've just posted to Campfire one of his otherworldly articles, which is amazing reading, actually, which Tamara commented on this morning. Number 10 is from the Ascension Light Workers. 11 is actually Boho Dogon, who's a member of Campfire. It's her artwork. So I'm sure she'd be very interested to hear the response we had earlier from Diane. Number 12 was Stephanie Lisa Kelly. It's called Rewilding Humans. I did write about this in Totnes.
I was hoping you were going to say AI for that one. I was thinking.
No, it's actually a photo. If you look at her Facebook, which I had a peek at last night, there's quite a few pictures from the rest of that session. I could quickly read it, actually. Men in nature, rediscovering the wild self, a need for rewilding, a desire to connect with nature, a moment frozen in time, man communing with nature with costume. How can humans rewild? Be rid of the rigid boundaries, the programming, rigidity, the control, the density, the safety, return to a lightness, a chaos, an unfolding, an emergence, a playfulness, a sense of game, experimentalism, challenge, alternative to rigid patterns, dressing up, disguise, statements on gender fluidity that provoke and divide. 13 was Andy Coates, done in artificial intelligence. 14 I found on Zelda Hall's Facebook, actually. She captioned it, "At what point in our lives do we take responsibility for who we have become?" 15 was me creating artificial intelligence for a rural pastoral scene in southern England, was the brief I gave the machine. And 16 again, I created in artificial intelligence to go with the video that I made, which I'll show at the end of the session. It's only a couple of minutes. So, right, everybody ready for part 2?
Yeah.
So this is going to be quick fire. So I reckon about 7 minutes. And complete the sentence. It can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph. That's 7 minutes, 21 seconds. So complete the sentence. My book will be about ... So this is for everyone to envisage. If you're writing a book, what will it be about? Write a brief for your book in 7 minutes, 21 seconds. There's a challenge. So go.
That's what I worked on before coming to this.
No talking. Okay, your time is up. Quick fire, my book. It will be about.
Let me go first because I was last time.
Off you go, Graham.
Thank you. My book will be about my life. The book of my soul will record the emotions I have gained in this life. Who will read it? I wrote it for me. I carry it with me. Will forever be my record of me. It gets published as an incarnation for a new chapter. Sometimes they are long, some longer than others. Some are horror stories, some are idyllic. But the wisdom I gain will stay with me, and I unfold the unknown in a new universe. I explore my mind. I am the mind of God.
Thank you. Who's next? Tamara.
Yes. My book will be about what's revealed about my ancestral inheritance by the mushroom journeys and the real lived experience of the guides of upper levels, always available. The flow that has brought me to this point in my life, full circle to what I've always known. Unfathomable wisdom, not normally, quotes, available, the deeper understanding of the vast unstoppable forces that that move humanity inevitably in certain directions, irresistibly in certain directions, recently apparently to our demise. The resurgence of anti-Semitism, the Chinese art of war, and so on, being used, how it's being used again and again in blatantly and yet unrecognized, so that even the most awake, quote, people are hoodwinked by it with closed minds. The need for a breakthrough being met by the rise in psychedelics. Mind expanding.
Thank you. That's 2 books I'd read so far.
Sorry?
That's 2 books I'd read so far to add to the pile.
Okay.
Who's next?
Shall I go next?
Yeah, go, Paula.
Yeah. My book will be about, it'll be about remembering my or our place in the world as a human being. Reminding us that we have permission to take up our space, to express, to act, to lounge, to explore, to play, to do nothing. How do we live together again? To shed obligations and create the villages to raise the children. Remembering why the wheel turns and remembering how without YouTube. Discovering our gifts, mentoring and being mentored so that we can overflow. In the spirit of Eisenstein and Francis Weller and Philip Shepherd, it'll inspire and remind that there is another way.
Nice, thank you.
My book will be about people, humanity, humanness, the flow of coming together, offering ways to tread lightly on the earth, to be of service, to be of community, communal, creating ease, enabling opening of hearts, dropping of fears, taking deep breaths of one at peace, feeling tranquil and acknowledged. And when I wrote the word acknowledged, I immediately got the word insight. People seek respect, that is what they articulate. Getting angry when that does not happen, antagonistic in conflict, fighting for their peace, P-I-E-C-E, their peace, P-E-A-C-E. But what they really want is to be noticed, valued, and allowed to be, to flourish, and to become. And that's taken me back to some writing I did several years ago now. And this is great. Thank you so much for this session, Pete, because this is really wonderful as my start, because this is the start. Sorry, I'm burbling on now. Solstice always is the beginning of the opening out for me every year. And so, and this whole flow into this week, and it's interesting because we have Christmas, and then my birthday, and then Hogmanay, and then New Year, then Chinese New Year. And for me, it's like it opens out like a flower, a bell, whatever. So yeah, and I bought some new books. I'm a bit of a stationery fiend, so I bought some new notebooks yesterday, which I'm very excited about, and I'll be able to use those to write all this stuff in.
Got more notebooks at the moment than I have had for many years, actually. I blame Matt Coldrick and The Artist's Way for setting that in motion. Thanks for your feedback. Yeah, that's very heartfelt. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd echo that.
Mm.
I've been trying to get back into The Artist's Way. I ordered it on audiobook, been listening to it a bit, but it's such a great practice. I understand you've been doing it you've been practicing it as your main practice now.
I have since the autumn, and in fact, Mac's starting a new course in January, which we're about to notify through the community. So we'll do it through the Campfire pages for the first time as a sort of gathering space, but he will do online sessions once a week. So yeah, we're just ready to announce that any day, actually. Might be our Christmas present to the community. So mine, yeah, my memoirs are already written, but they've been on the back burner for 15 years. So New Year resolution is to get them out.
Wow.
It's a long
You must have more since then, surely, in the last
Well, there are
15
loads more.
years.
That's one of the dilemmas why I haven't done anything with it. I thought, well, I maybe need to write a few more chapters. Campfire's not even mentioned as an example. So I have to decide when I go back through it what to keep and, whether to write a postscript to each chapter or whether to just publish it as it is, or I don't know.
Actually, I like the sound of that. The postscript to each chapter, like updating each chapter as you go through it rather than summary at the end.
Yeah.
I like that
notes
idea.
on each chapter that this is what I feel now.
Yeah.
Might be an approach. So I just wrote a few notes, really. My book is about community, about my memoirs, my visions, my dreams, my hopes, my fears, my quirks, my stories, my adventures, my kids, my gambles, my mistakes, my humor, my humility, my twists and turns, my unique experiences with the people I meet.
That really came across in the interview, the interesting anecdotes about Radio Caroline and your adventure spirit and projects that you get on top of and get into.
Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I really enjoyed the interview. So it's going out again at 5 o'clock tonight on the link. There's a different link from 4 o'clock onwards, which is the we start off with Steel Ice Span, which will probably be me and playing a load of Steel Ice fan videos, and whoever else wants to drop in and comment. Then I'll be rerunning Boho's interview with me, which we did last week. Then some Christmas and midwinter music at 10 to 6. These times may be subject to change, and then 7 o'clock I'll play the video for my Deep and Crisp and Even midwinter mix, which is online anyway, but I'll play it. And then I've put something about sleigh bells over the Welsh hills. I don't know what that will be. Probably me cracking open a bottle of something and having a tipple.
I did this, but I'm not sure if it's right because everyone's done it about their life. I've done it about a real book that I want to be doing.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sounds good. I'm awaiting with bated breath now.
To be honest, I'm still a bit muddled about the words. So these words are really badly written, and I'm not very good at prose. I'm better at sort of poetry things. But well, it's about basically my aim to uplift and transform lives by teaching and introducing the power of music into people's lives. So the two main books that I'm working on is The Definitive Guide to Perfect Piano Practice. Stop Struggling. This is terrible, actually, but I'll say it anyway. Stop Struggling and Getting Nowhere Fast. My original Pineapple Chunk Method clarifies with laser focus each step to take for practice that is satisfactory, that is effective and will smash your progress through the sky. I don't know what, I can't remember what that expression is, smash it through the stars or something, I don't know. So that's the main, there are two main ones, the perfect practice, and the other one is the complete beginners. So I've just got complete beginners from zero musical knowledge to full understanding of how music is written and played, complete beginners, in-depth knowledge of classical theory and how to play piano well. Each step takes you gently through every stage needed to play and understand music and theory easily. And before you know it, you'll be playing your favourite tunes. It's really naff, but that's kind of the two books.
Not naff at all. What do you mean
Not
naff?
naff at all.
Stop putting yourself down.
No, but that's not probably how I would write it, but it's those are my two books that are there. I did actually spend 5 years writing the complete beginner's book, and I've got it all written out, but then COVID hit and I didn't get very far with it, so I'm glad it didn't happen, because I'm going to produce it very differently now, but there we go.
I just wanted to say I'm intrigued about what the pineapple chunk method is. That caught me, and I'm like,
Yeah, me
you know,
too.
I want to know.
Well, it's a method of practicing. Most people who play the piano or any instrument practice inefficiently. So what they're actually doing, and I've done it all my life as well, is to practice our mistakes. So it's just a method to do that, and it gets a bit more complex the more advanced you get, but it works. I've been using it for the last maybe 10 years. I've developed it, and it seems very simple initially, but it goes into more depth. So
Sounds amazing. I'm a frustrated guitarist, so I want to get better.
I'm very you know, happy to tell you what the method is, and you can apply it to any instrument.
Mm.
Mm.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
I like your flair for titles around self-help as well, Janine. I think, yeah, definite skill there. Self-help books.
What was that?
Well, sort of tutorial books on how to, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Struggling. Yeah, I like that.
it's getting a snappy title, isn't it? That's what sells the books, really. And the
Yeah,
art.
that's what I'm after.
Yeah.
I haven't got it yet, but thank you.
I've been instructed by my daughter to write a book of tomorrow's tips, because I've got all old wives' tales. You know, it all work. They all work amazingly well. So you've inspired me to go revisit that as well, Janine.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, old wives' tales. There must be some books with titles around old wives' tales. Maybe not. Maybe it's time for one.
Well, I've got a book of tips in my head. You know, it's like they're endless titles that people find very useful. So yeah.
Yeah. Ken, is it time for a book on English folk rock? What's your?
Well, let's find out. You know, I would like to ask Janine, you said you were working on 2 books. One is about self-help, and what is the other thing?
One is about complete beginners, piano players. So from zero knowledge to playing the piano, and one is about how to practice. So it's not about self-help, but I have got lots of ideas about that as well. But that's not yet.
All right, so complete beginners on piano.
And how to practice, yeah.
And how to practice. Those are the 2 things. All right. Well, as most of you guys know, I'm a Jewish guy who grew up in Maryland and Massachusetts. And for some reason, I have acquired, developed, whatever, I don't know the best way to put this, a deep connection to England. Been there 10 times. And my book or books would be about Ken Roseman's life journey with Steel Eye Span and the English folk rock community. How did I get attracted to that? What do I like about it? So it'd probably be some historical stuff, some band stuff. And, you know, I haven't really thought about this in any great detail, but Pete keeps encouraging me to do something like this. The other idea, which is kind of complimentary, is Ken's life journey with English folk rock Ken's life journey with Steel Eye Span. That's the one I know best. And folk rock around the world, because there are bands, individuals, entities in other countries that have taken the Fairport Steel Eye template and applied it to their own traditions. And I've discovered a lot of that. And the other thing I'm really trying to figure out is I'm very nervous. I'm not confident. You know, should I start off with this by writing them or making them up as articles for magazines or websites, or should I just dive in, you know, full steam ahead, not knowing what's going to happen or where it's going to go? Let's see. What? I can't read that. Oh, yeah. Should I? What? I can't read it. That's a shame. I can't read it. Should I something to? Nope, can't make sense out of that. Don't know what it is. That is very nerve-wracking.
What might be a good suggestion for a starting point, Ken, is well, I was hoping to hear a pitch from you in terms of what you'd written for what the book is about.
Well, you know,
what you've given us is more a sort of slightly well, it's what you've said on various calls before. So maybe working on how you hone a pitch over 2 or 3 paragraphs, snappy paragraphs, to outline the book will then give you direction of exactly what it will be and how to approach it. Just a suggestion, anyway.
well, I mean, you know, it would be, I mean, in some ways it would be easier to just stick with the English stuff. I really know that best. You know, what was my attraction to Steel Eye Span? Well, the first time I heard Below the Salt, the people that made this music must be really nice. I really came away with something like that. And I liked the harmonies. I mean, maybe there's something ancestral going on that it sounded a bit like Jewish prayer music. I don't know.
But again, these are just your musings. What I'm trying to get to is how you write, what you write as your pitch for the book, which is what this exercise is about. So
What would go on the back of the jacket, for
what would
example?
go on the back of the jacket, how you describe your book.
How did the Jewish guy get so involved with something so very British?
Yay! That sounds brilliant.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
How did, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question quite
Write
yet.
it down. You don't need to answer it.
Well, the book will be about pondering that question, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've come up to 12 o'clock, so I am going to do a session in about 15 minutes if anyone wants to hang around about how to, well, it was Karina Cox actually asked me to do it, but she just messaged to say that she's been pulled away by family. So I'm wondering whether to postpone it until Karina's around. But I was going to do some tips on, she asked how she could do a slideshow to music. I said I'd show her on iMovie. So anyone who's Apple Mac based here might find that useful. I'm happy to do it and record it and send it to Karina, or we can reschedule it. So I don't know if anyone's got any feedback on that.
I'm interested. Question of timing, really. About how long would it take?
It would be about half an hour at the most. I was also going to throw in a musical writing section for the end of this, but we've sort of run out of time really with an hour and a half. So we could do that on the if anyone's up for it, we can do another of these sessions. I've quite enjoyed.
That'd be lovely. I've really enjoyed this, Pete. I've done the Artist's Way a few times on the weekend with Julia Cameron in Cecil Sharp House, as it happens, which was amazing. And her photograph, she looks about 35. She's actually quite ancient, like me, but yeah, but she's an extraordinary, prolific writer, guide, brilliant.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting if Matt Goldrick had attended this session, I think.
Yes.
Is it about iMovie, Pete? Because I'm interested in learning how to do iMovie. I'm not sure about a slideshow, but yeah, because as you know, I'm very untechnical.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in learning it.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to continue. Maybe I'll just have a 5-minute break to pour myself a drink.
Or we could do it another time. I'm easy.
Well, I'm fine to carry on. I was going to show what the results. In fact, if I do a screen share, this might be a good way of going into it. And feel free if you want to go off and do other stuff. So
if you want a break, Pete, take a 5-minute break before you do that.
Well, I was going to play the some of you may have seen it already. I saw the Albion Christmas Band live in Tewkesbury, and one of their songs, "There's a Light Shining," was incredibly inspirational. It's a couple of years, 3 or 4 years old now, I think. But I thought I'd lift off some of the tracks. There's only 2 minutes of it, and you can see here in iMovie how it's assembled. So all these are separate images.
All right.
I click up to my media. For some reason,
You
it's
said
not-
they're all AI images. I've got a resistance to AI
yeah,
art.
they're all
Yeah.
AI, but keep an open mind, because what I'm trying to do is get human qualities into the images generated by AI, because I haven't been to Gaza or Jerusalem, so I couldn't conjure up my own images from my camera. So that's why I went to AI for pictures that included a brief for Gaza and Jerusalem.
I'm going to check out, guys. Thanks for the
Yeah.
excellent workshop, Pete. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone. I'll see you soon.
Graham. Yeah.
Hi, Graham.
Bye.
I'll see you at the Steel Eye Span thing in a couple of hours.
I'm
Yeah.
going to check out too, and thank you. I feel a little bit uplifted now.
Hey,
So
thank
thanks
you
for shedding
your
some
advice.
light. And
I
lovely
think
be
I want to
together.
go as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you again
Yeah.
soon. Bye.
Thanks,
I think
everyone.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go off now as well. So
Okay, see you tomorrow.
thank
And
you
I
so
hope-
much, Pete. Yeah.
And I hope you are planning to record the Steel Eye Span thing.
I can do. Yeah, it won't be too personal. Okay, and then there were 4. So, yeah. Anyway, if I just play it, that's probably the best way to do it, and then I can answer any questions. Some of you may have seen this already, but if I start at the beginning, it might be helpful.
There's a light